back, you guys, to another episode of Sips with Scrubs. I'm joined today by Jasmine. Y'all, we're so excited to talk to y'all. It's not even funny.
It's not even funny.
Y'all don't even know what it took to get us here. That's what y'all not understanding.
Like, wipe the sweat off because it was a lot.
We didn't got traffic. No, first we had to move days, right? We got to start from there.
Yeah.
First, we had to remove the day, Jasmine's training. And I want to know about that in a little bit too. See how that's going for you. So first that, then the whole reason why we're doing virtual, Jasmine's in California. I met her at Nurses Travel Network when we went to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Our group was lit. Our group was really lit. Like,
yeah,
it was.
It was so lit.
We had so much fun. But I met her there, and then I wanted to talk to her about this LVN stuff because I have no clue about it. And I know if I don't have a clue about it, that other people probably don't either. So she's here to tell us everything about it. There's so much stuff to nursing that I feel like we don't know until somebody tells us. So I definitely wanted her on to talk about that. But y'all, the time difference messed us up.
But we getting it together.
We're
flexible. We flexible.
Right. That's the characteristic you develop as a nurse. Adaptability. Because things do not go your way.
You adapt with the punches. Just keep it going.
So I'm going to let Jasmine introduce herself. She's going to let us know like how long she's been a nurse and all of that fun stuff.
Okay. So hi, everybody. My name is Jasmine. I'm an LVN. That's licensed vocational nurse. I have been at LVN for going to be 9 years now. I can't even believe it's been 9 years.
I'm like, how can you even be that old?
I know. Nobody ever believes me. When I tell them how long I've been a nurse, they're like, how old are you? And I'm like, that's none of your business. I'm just kidding. No, black don't crack unless you do it. Okay. So like.
She's not even that old, y'all. She's young.
I am young. But and I'm in school right now, finishing up these prereqs so I can be an RN, just like my girl here.
Whoop, whoop.
But like she said, I live in Cali, and that's pretty much it right now.
Yeah, so we're excited to talk to y'all today. So I asked Jasmine before, like, what's her favorite wine? So she told me that she likes this Wilson Creek. Do you get the almond one? I didn't even ask you that.
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's the kind I have.
I like all the flavors. Ooh, yes. See, and I just poured mine. I didn't know we was gonna pop it. I poured it in I just pour mine in the cup.
See? And this is a sparkling wine, right?
Yeah, it's a sparkling.
But what I did like about it is that it's 11.5%. I was like, oh, this got a little something
got a little
to
kick.
It. Got a little something. So when I was looking it up, because I just like to look because I don't know a lot, but now that I've been doing this more often, I'm like learning. So they said that it's a hint of almond, thus in the name, along with caramelized sugar. And they said it's great to be paired with mild, creamy cheeses like chicken, pork, or seafood dishes. I'm like, that kind of sound like everything to me.
Everything we eat.
And then I was like, and then it also says it's good for desserts or an after dinner drink. So like I said, it sounds like everything to me.
Exactly. And that's exactly when I have it as an after dinner drink. I'm like, oh yes.
Yeah.
You like it?
I'm trying to taste that almond.
I never taste the almond, honestly. I don't. In the peach one, I taste the peach. Because there's a peach one, there's a watermelon one.
I don't taste the almond. And I realized it's sparkling, right? So I didn't realize I didn't pour that much in here. It doesn't taste like almond to me, but I don't know why, but I'm picking up, it tastes like apple to me a little bit.
I can see that.
I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling like apple.
I don't taste almond either. But I mean, I don't know if I would like it if I could taste almond. I do like almonds, but an almond kind of flavored with the drink, I feel like that'll be a little weird.
So we're going to go into our little icebreaker game. So it's going to be a fill in the blank. So I can't wait to see what you say.
Oh, Lord. I'm a mess.
The one smell you can't stand is?
Oof. All of them. But let's see. C. diff is a really, really bad smell, but I think vomit. I just have this thing with vomit smells. I can't.
Girl, I'll be running to get the patient to vomit in the blue bag. I'd be like, get it in there.
Vomit makes my stomach weak. And that's like the only thing where I feel like I'm about to vomit. And I have to be like, okay, like I just need a moment. I need a moment to get myself together, and then I can go back. And then I go back, and then I need another moment, because that's just the one thing I can't do.
See, I thought my problem in nursing was going to be vomit too, because I felt like I can't, like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to watch you do it. Nothing, none of the things. But you know, I mean, obviously after you've been a nurse for a while, you see people vomit like quite often. And then when I saw them do it, I was just like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But my problem is I don't want to clean it up. I'm not trying to clean it up. And for you nurses out there that don't know, housekeeping is not about to clean up that vomit. Any bodily fluids, that's all you. And I'm like, them little chunks, baby, it's not for me. Not for me at all.
That's funny.
The smell though, I'm like, all right. I don't think I like GI bleed might be my worst one. I think that might be mine.
That's a really bad one.
I be like,
I mean, and I've smelled some really bad, like stage 4s that have gotten infected.
Yeah, those wounds, they're horrible. But I'm kind of weird. I kind of like wounds just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Because I just be like, because I don't know, I guess when you're cleaning it, it's like, okay, like it looks a lot better than how it was before.
No, yeah.
I'm like, most time when you're changing it, it's like it's soaked through the dressing, and it's just like, ew, it's just so nasty. And you pull it off and it's all this yellow stuff on it. It's like, ugh. And then when you put the new dressing on it, it's like very satisfying.
Yes, it is. And then to see one heal, it's like,
yes, to see where it's like, dang, that was you. That was right? Like that before.
Tunneling gone. Crazy. Where the tunneling? It's gone.
Right. Okay, so our next one is I have to finish blank before I leave my shift.
I have to finish probably stocking my cart before I leave my shift. I think that's like the most important to me. Like, of course, it probably should be charting, but like charting, if I'm coming in the next day, guess what? I can pick up on the charting, although I shouldn't do that. But just to make sure like the next nurse is coming on, I'm just alleviating some of that pressure from her, because it's already hard. Like that's like the most important for me. Like, okay, before I end, make sure she's stocked on this, and then I'll be like good to go, because it's just like courtesy. Like she's already gonna
see. I'm all for courtesy, and I feel like a lot of people, they don't do that. I haven't seen that a lot lately. I'm like, what happened? Like y'all don't clean up y'all room. Y'all just be leaving it like this for me.
Yes,
y'all got
you don't wipe
everywhere.
Stuff down for me. Like,
yeah, I'm like the bedside table got all your gauze and all this stuff on it. I get this stuff everywhere, and I hate clutter. I'm like, I'm walking into a mess. That's what I feel like. Like when you start your shift. So man, shout out to you. See, that's what I like to hear. Because it makes you feel so good. Like when you're not expecting it to, and you come on your shift, you're like, oh, they already got this in here.
Yes, it starts your shift off good. Like, man, thank you. Like,
especially like when they have like feedings and stuff, and they already like, oh, I got you a new bag, and I already changed it and everything. You like,
exactly. Already hung the bag, already hung the hydration for you. Like, good. All you have to do is push start at this time. Thank you. Shout out to you. All you got to do is push start at this time.
I'd be like, thank you in advance, because we just be running around so much, and it's just like that one thing can make a difference.
That's true.
So I'm ready to hear all about LVN life. So first, we got to start from the beginning. First, like, how did you even find out about doing LVN? And then like, how did you get into it?
Okay, so I hadn't even heard of LVN before I even started the program. All I knew was RN, and that's the only type of nurse that I knew. So I was like, okay, then I need to figure out how I can become an RN. But it was my best friend, Jasmine, who, you met her on the trip. She was already in the program, and she told me about it. And I was like, oh, LVN, like, okay, I want to be a nurse. And this is just like, this could be like a stepping stone for me to get a little experience before I go to the RN program. And so honestly, that's basically what I did. Like she told me about the program. I had to take, an entrance exam, and I had to take a HESI for the LVN program just to get in to see where I'm at. And once I passed that, like it was in, and the program is only about 14 months.
See, and that's what I like.
It was very quick, and it's not like I didn't get like an associate's degree or anything like that. It's just the 14-month program. After you're done, you take your boards and you're a licensed LVN now.
So wait, tell me like do you have to get like prerequisites and stuff before going into LVN?
You don't, not like at like a community college or like a Cal State or anything like that. They literally, you do your prereqs while you're there. So like when I got there, before I started the core nursing, I had to do anatomy. I had to do pharmacology. I had to do biology, but I had to do all that there.
Oh, gotcha.
But once I was done with those classes, then it was like straight to, okay, now we're doing geriatrics. You got your peds rotation, you got your psych rotation. It was like all of that.
So you could basically enter LVN straight from high school?
Straight from high school.
See, that's what I like, because I think, like I was saying before, a lot of people don't know all the different ways that you could become a nurse. And it's so many. My brother, he's in nursing school now too. Now I forgot because I didn't tell him about too many. I can't remember if he's doing ADN or if he's doing LVN. But I'm a first child, so I'm the guinea pig. That's how I always be feeling. I'd be like, I got to figure everything else out. Nobody in my family was a nurse before me, so I didn't have like those sorts of resources where I could just ask somebody, what did you do or whatever. And a lot of people in my class, their mother or somebody was a nurse. So they had like an inkling of how this thing was supposed to go, and I just felt lost.
Yep. That's me, because nobody in my family I have family members that are nurses, but they're on my dad's side, and they live in Chicago. And so like, or Texas. Like I have a cousin that's an RN in Texas, and like, but they're not here in Cali. So like, of course I have them to call and reference, but starting off, it was just me.
Because of the state differences too. Yeah.
Every
so
state
I was just lost, and I was telling my brother, I was like, in hindsight, if I would have known about everything beforehand, I probably would have chosen like an ADN or LVN route first, as opposed to jumping straight in. But honestly, it had to happen that way, because honestly, didn't start off wanting to be a nurse. I didn't know like a lot about nursing at all before becoming a nurse. And I was describing to like counselors and stuff what I wanted. I always knew I wanted to do something in the medical field because that was my thing. So I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician. But the way I was describing it, and I guess my mom had a little bit more insight, I was just like, oh, I want to be at the patient's bedside, and I want to do this, that, and this. And then she kept telling me like, oh, you probably should look into being a nurse. And I'm just like, I know I want to be a nurse. Like, I think it's because my mom telling me. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about.
That happens. That happens. You hear from your parents.
She knew what she was talking about. So like 2 years after college, like prereqs and stuff, I'm kind of like, do I really want to be in school that long? Do I really want to like devote time for like the whole residency part of being a doctor? I was like, nah, I'm good. So then that's how I got into nursing, but then like doing the clinicals and everything else. And then I found out, I'm like, oh wait, no, this is what I actually wanted to do the whole time. I just didn't know that. I just thought nurses wipe butts, to be honest, in the beginning. I didn't know we did all these different things.
A million things. And I didn't know that it was so many different fields.
Exactly.
Like I literally thought it was just geriatric, because that's all that's all that's promoted mainly. Like, you're a nurse, book with old people. And that's all I saw. And then when you actually get into it, you're like, oh, wait, I have a million options.
Exactly. And I'm just like, I had no clue about that, how many options there was. I didn't know the different pay range. Like, I'm like, wait, hold on. Like, why y'all didn't tell me about this? I'm like, maybe people were misinformed as well. I think it's more popularized now with the pandemic and everything and travel nursing. Like, I feel like more people know about nurses and stuff now. But I'm like, I felt like when I was in high school, I didn't know nothing about being a nurse other than they help the doctor. I didn't know nurses, basically, we really be running this shit.
No, you run it. And what's crazy, because I always knew I was going to be a nurse. In high school, I was in this thing called the Health Academy. And it was basically for students that wanted to go into the medical field. And so during that time in the Health Academy, we had to do volunteer hours. So we would do like go to the hospital, and each of us would be like in a section, like, and it's like some of us are here with geriatrics, some of us are in psych, some of us are here. And this was in high school that I was able to do that.
See, and so that was good.
Yeah, I had a mentor during that time. She was a nurse, but she was she worked in the OR. And when I saw that, that was just like so eye-opening for me. I was like, you're a nurse and you can work in the OR?
Exactly. Like, I had no clue.
I didn't even know that was possible. And that was just like, oh, okay. So as a nurse, you can do pretty much anything in the hospital.
Literally anything. I'm like, you can work with legal, you can work at schools, you can work. I'm like, it's so much stuff you could do. It's just kind of insane. Like our options are limitless. And then alongside that, like I said, well, I didn't even know that. So of course I didn't know there was a whole bunch of other ways to even become a nurse. And then so once I completed everything, I was like, hold on, you working with me and what you are? Then I'm like, wait, in the hospital paying for your debt? And I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, hold on. I was telling my brother all the tea. I was like, look, if I would have known, I would have made that hospital pay for this. I'm like, even if it might not be a lot, but it's better than you paying for everything.
Better than you paying for everything. And a lot of hospitals do that tuition reimbursement. And I'd be like, ooh, you help pay for school if I work for you and you help pay for my school. Oh, let me see what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yes. So I was just like, I gotta let the people know. So that's one of the reasons why I like Sips with Scrubs, because it's just kind of like a platform where people could come and learn about these different things. Because like I said, I had no clue. And it's a good chance for us to talk to.
Exactly.
Okay, so I do want to know, so since we're still kind of in the beginning, we didn't got into LVN school. Okay, so what's our like scope of practice for LVN?
Scope of practice for LVN, I mean, it kind of varies. Like for me, I work with pediatrics right now, and I work with geriatrics. But you can work anywhere, honestly, as an LVN. Like I can work at the hospital, I can work at the clinic, I can work at the nursing home, I can work at the rehab center. I can literally work anywhere. As far as what we're able to do, though, we can't. One thing LVNs I know can't do is assess.
Right. Okay, that's like how I remembered it too.
Yeah, we can't assess. We can't go in and do the initial assessment. Now, after the RN goes and assesses, like we can go in and then we monitoring, basically.
Okay. So is it like, for instance, because what kind of facility you work at now?
Right now, I'm working in home health, and then I work at a skilled nursing facility.
Okay, so I think I'm a little bit more familiar with skilled nursing facility. So basically, because then they'll discharge from the hospital and go there, right?
And go there, yep.
Okay, so if y'all get a new patient that just came from the hospital, so you wouldn't be able to accept the patient right when they get there. The RN would have to go in and assess them.
Yes.
Okay, and then you could take over care from there?
Yes.
Okay, so what if they've been there for like a day or two? Like, would you still be able to like get them from the start of your shift, or they still have to do the initial assessment each day?
No, not each day. I'd be able to get them there. Yeah.
Once that's what I was trying to make clear, because I remember at one point where I was working at, because the thing is, in the nursing world, you don't know who has what degree until you ask them. Like, you really don't. I didn't know. Like, I just feel like I didn't know a lot of stuff. So I'm like, I know I've worked with an ADN before, and I was asking her a lot of questions. And I know I've worked with an LVN before at the hospital. And then I didn't know, because it's not my business, because it's not my patients. We all have our own set. So I was trying to think, like, did the charge nurse just already give her an assignment where it was patients that were already there or what? So I'm thinking that must have been what they had to do. Because if it's a new somebody from ER or whatever, like they wouldn't be able to accept them. Okay. Yeah, that's why I was like, hold on. Because I'm like, that would have been a charge nurse thing. I wouldn't have to worry about that because I got my own set. But I was just like, What about hanging blood? Are y'all able to do that too?
We're not. When you complete the LVN program, you have to take like another class to get certification in blood draw and IV. So we can't hang blood, we can't hang medications, but we can do hydration. So like me, I'm IV and blood draw certified. So if the RN needs me to draw blood, then I can do that because I have the certification to do that. If she needs me to start the IV because we're about to do some normal saline, then I can do that, but I cannot do medication.
Okay, so you can't like hang an antibiotic or whatever?
No, I can't do that.
Even with the certification?
Even with the certification, yeah, that's only for an RN.
So yeah, because I'm like, I thought I remembered that because we did have some test questions about that. Like, oh, like who would you delegate this to? Like who's appropriate and stuff like they ask us questions like that. But I was like, let me just make sure, because I found out, like I was saying, as I've been a nurse, like a lot of things are different. Like I didn't know, like even techs can get certified to like draw labs and put in IVs and or take Foley's out, like other stuff like that. So it's just like, oh wait, so tell me what you can't do.
Yeah, I worked at a facility. It was a what kind of facility was this? I can't remember the name, but I worked at a facility and I was a desk nurse there. I didn't even pass meds there because they're health aides. They weren't CNAs. They were just health aides. Went and got certification to pass meds. So the health aides were certified to do med pass. The only thing I was doing there was blood draws or AccuChecks for people that were diabetic, wounds if needed, colostomy bags, catheters, that type of stuff. But I didn't passing meds. Nope, didn't pass.
See, that's so interesting. That's why I'm always like, you just don't know until you know. Like who you like, oh wait, you can pass meds? Are you sure?
I didn't even know that was a thing. I was like, med certification? What is? So your LVNs on pass meds? No, we have med techs. I said, a med tech? What is a med tech?
Exactly. That's kind of cool though. I'm not gonna lie. So you work right now, like, well, first off, because I want to ask you about this anyway. So tell us what you're doing now. Catch us up.
Right now, my full time is working in home health. And so in home health, a lot of my patients are pediatric patients. They are full disability. So they're like bedbound, have trachs, have G tubes, are on ventilators, non-ambulatory, stuff like that. Okay. So very, very critical patients. And that's usually what I do Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, I do like local travel nursing. So that's where I'm like at a facility or a clinic or a hospital or something like that. And it's kind of, you get your couple hours of training and then boom, they throw you out there. Right. And those usually are with geriatric patients, sometimes dementia or like, you know, people that are coming from the ER and just need rehab and stuff like that. So that's typically what I'm doing now, besides going to school. And I go to the home health job.
And she got a whole kid, y'all.
Two.
Oh, wait, I didn't realize it was two of them.
Two, yes.
Oh, Lord. Do y'all hear what this mama is doing?
Two. Yes, it's two.
Wait, and then so y'all like remember when y'all going through y'all little hard times, remember Jasmine over here with her 2 jobs, school, and 2 kids.
Oh,
it's possible.
It is, and I don't know how, but I'm doing.
But she's doing it, and she's alive, and she's meeting with us and talking.
I'm alive, right? I'm alive, and I still take trips.
Period. That part. So wait, on Monday through Friday, like, what are your hours like?
Oh my God, I love it. See, so with home health, you literally make your own schedule.
Okay,
so Monday through Friday,
it works perfectly with the school.
Works perfectly with the school. Monday through Friday is literally 8 to 4. Okay. And then I have the options to do 8 hours or 12-hour shifts. Like if I decide to like on a Wednesday and Thursday, if I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just do two 12 hours these days, then I have that option to do it. So I love the flexibility. And then with home health, there's a lot of downtime. Like, and once I'm done making sure my patient is okay and then checking on them every 2 hours to make sure they're good, because I'm in their home. Right. I'm in their home. It's just me and my one patient. Like, I have a lot of time to study and do my homework. I bring my homework and my laptop with me to work because I just have that downtime.
That works.
And it works out really good. Like I still go to work. I still get to go to school, and school's online. Thank God. Like I don't have to go into, you know, a campus or anything right now with me doing my prereqs. So like, it's been working out lovely.
So is it like one patient that you're with each day, or is it like a variety?
One patient that I'm with the whole time. So like I have my one patient that I'm with consistently Monday through Friday.
Okay, every day. So it's kind of good too, because it's stability and you kind of know them and things like that.
Yes, I know them. I know their routine. Like I already know their cues because of course they're nonverbal.
Right.
So like it's me and my one patient, we gonna write it out until I'm done and I'm ready to be an RN.
See, I always feel like stability is good and bad because it's like, okay, I know what to expect from you, but at the same time, if I don't like you, like I can't get rid of you. So how does that work?
No, actually, see,
Okay,
you
you
can.
can.
You
Okay,
can. See,
tell me
working in home
something.
health, that's where you have that flexibility. So, like, if I'm rocking with this patient and everything's good, and then something goes haywire where it's either with the patient or with the family, or something's just not clicking anymore, I have the option to be like, you know what, this isn't going to work out. And then, boom, I'm on to a next patient
Okay,
at
that
their home.
works.
So, yeah, it works. And then the two, like what you mentioned, like, because it's so routine and I get used to this one patient, I lose out on some skills that I'm not getting while at, a hospital facility or a clinic or
Right.
something like that, which is why I choose to do that on the weekend so that I can make sure I stay
Stay
sharp.
abreast.
Because because staying with the patient in their home, like a new patient, like how I'm going to discharge a patient, like I don't even remember how to do that. I don't even know how to use PCC anymore. Like, so that's why I keep that one on the side that I do like a couple days out of the month to make sure I stay on my skills because you can't
That
lose
makes
stuff.
sense. I had another nurse on here and we were talking and she was saying that she used to do home health before, but she had changed to doing being in the hospital for that very reason. Like you said, she felt like she was losing a lot of her skills.
Yeah, you can't, girl. You can't lose some skills. That's why I'm like, okay, when I go to my weekend job, I'm like, okay, like now I'm about to make sure my skills are still intact because you can forget. But the thing about the home health, like you really get to just like I know LVNs can't assess, but I feel like while I'm there, that's basically what I'm doing because it's just me by myself. So like my patient now has a trach on a vent, has a G tube. I have to do QFU every 4 hours straight cath. Like so I'm getting these skills like to a T.
Right.
So
I mean,
I like
everything is
that.
an assessment because honestly, assessing is kind of like common sense. So it's kind of just like you looking at them, like even when you just looking at them, that's assessing a patient. You like, okay, like what's wrong with them? What's going on? That's assessing. It ain't till you do something about it. It's like an intervention. So I definitely feel like you still assessing the patient because you're trying to figure out what's wrong, especially with those cues you're talking about.
Exactly. But we can't use that word as an LVN. So I just
But that's what it is. I'm like, assessing is literally common sense. A lot of this stuff, my teacher, I would say doctor, my teacher, she used to tell us that in school. She'd be like, a lot of your assessing you probably can do like from eyeballing a patient, like just paying attention.
Yes, that is so
They
true.
walk to the restroom, you look at their back. They don't know you looking at their back, but you looking at their skin when they getting up. You seeing how they walk. You seeing if they steady. When you're talking to them, you're trying to see what kind of mentation they have. It's like, and that's stuff that you don't have to actually seem like you're doing, but that is what you're doing.
Yes.
You do it all the time with normal people. Oh,
exactly.
You know?
You do it all the time with normal people.
Like, they don't seem like they all right up there. Like you do it all the time. It's assessing. Everybody does it.
Everybody does it.
So you kind of told us a little bit, kind of like how your day in the life goes. So tell us a little bit more about the weekend job then.
Okay, so the weekend job, I actually made a video about a situation that happened. A situation that happened on my weekend job. So when you're walking into these different facilities, you kind of don't know what you're getting yourself into because for number one, it's a last minute assignment mostly because these facilities have had a lot of call offs and they just need a nurse. The weekend job, the pay is doubled.
Period.
Than what I'm getting. Yes, than what I'm getting at my normal 9 to 5. So the pay is doubled. That's great. But as far as what you're walking into, you just don't know. Like I had a situation where I was going to do a knock shift at a facility. I got there to check in and they're telling me that I have to float from one station from station 1 to station 2. I have to take care of the patients on station 1 and take care of the patients.
Is that the one you was making that video about?
That's the one. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And that's like a situation where you just don't know what you're walking into. And I was just like, well, yeah, I can't do that. That's like a patient ratio that's out of control. And let me tell you, the patient ratio for LVNs here in California is what they say is 1 LVN to 25 patients. And they think it's easy. And they say that because they say, oh, you're just the LVN, all you're doing is passing meds. And it's like, no. That's not all I'm doing. I'm not just passing meds.
Passing
I
meds
was
for a
just
lot of people is
passing
still a
meds.
lot. If that was all you were doing, that's
Thank
still
you.
a
If
lot.
I literally was just passing meds, then okay, maybe. But I'm passing meds. I'm talking to the patient's family. I'm calling the doctors. I'm calling the pharmacies.
That's
I'm
what I'm saying.
discharging medication. I'm
They
adding
act like we're kind of like
medication.
robots. You think they were physically just in there, like, here's your pill, bye. That's not how it
Exactly.
goes.
That's not how it goes.
Like, who you
I'm
just gonna show up
explaining
in there
these
and then you're just
pills
gonna
to
give them
them.
the pill? That's not very personable. So you always have to be like,
Yeah.
oh, well, hey, you know, blah blah blah. These are your pills, and then they want to know, what are they taking? Blah blah blah
Why are they
blah.
taking it?
Yeah, what are you taking?
Yes.
I'd be like, pay attention. I want you to think I'm giving you something I'm not supposed to.
No, for
Some
real.
of them will do that. You didn't
Yes.
poison me, or you didn't give me this. Yes, I did. Remember that pink pill I had in my
They
little
always
cup?
throw out the colors. Well, the last time I had it, it was pink. And I'm like, here we go.
I know. I'm like, it's different in this hospital setting. We don't
Yes.
have the available blah blah blah. Girl, I'd be
Yeah,
like,
that's
they
like,
always be
there's
wondering what's
different
going on.
pharmaceutical companies, same medication, but guess what? From this pharmaceutical company, it's green.
Mm-hmm.
From this one, it was red. It's the same thing, gonna get the same effects. Like,
exactly. I had one the other day. I've been having a lot of patients lately. They've been getting their Lipitor in the morning. They normally take it in the evening at home, and they keep asking, why are they giving it to me at this time? I'm like, when your doctor put in his meds, he put in daily. When they put in daily, it automatically goes to 9 o'clock. You got to put in bedtime for it to be in the evening. He don't feel like doing all that. I don't say I'm not going to call him to change it, but I'm not going to call him to change it. I'm like, this is just how it is here. You still getting it once a day. When you go home, you can take it how you normally do. Like, it's just like any variation. They like, wait, hold on.
Any variation. They be like about to lose it. And I should be like, it's okay.
You're like, wait.
It's okay.
So all that
it's
to say,
okay, sir, ma'am.
Going in there and passing meds.
Exactly. I just be like, no. So yeah, the weekend job, that's typically it. Like, I go to the facilities, and I pass the meds, I call pharmacies, I call families, I call doctors, I discharge medications, I'm inputting medication orders. I had a new admit one time. So it really varies because I don't know what facility I'm going to go to.
Right. So I really think that's a good balance, because then you have the stability, like, okay, from this day to this day, I know it's going to look like this.
Mm-hmm.
I can get this done on these days. And then on these days, I don't know what the hell will happen. Because that's kind of how my life is now too, since I'm doing the float pool. Mm-hmm. So it's the same type of situation. So we get our assignment a week in advance, but we don't know what unit we're going to. We just know what location I'm going to. So it's similar to local traveling too.
Okay. And so I started the local.
I'm going to this facility, whatever. I'm like, all right. Then I get there the day of. I go to the staffing office and they tell me what unit I'm on. I'm like, okay.
No, okay. It's a surprise.
So how do you deal with like that situation you were saying, like with the nurse to patient ratio?
Okay, so with that situation, and I had never been in that situation before, but what I've learned from that situation is to call ahead of time and see what the patient ratio is, which I didn't know that before
you get there.
Before I even get there, because this is
new.
I
feel like you're not gonna lie, like, so I could come and then I still get there.
And see, and that could be it too, because they could lie because they're desperate.
Am I really gonna tell this nurse what she really gonna get when she get in here? I need her to come.
Exactly.
But honestly, too, I think that's a good thing. And then even when you get there, if you know that's not something you're willing to deal with, I mean, it's not patient abandonment because you haven't taken the assignment yet.
And see, and that's another thing. And I taught this to my best friend, like, being a new nurse, you don't know a lot. So you're just, you're just happy to be working, and you're like,
so they be taking advantage of them.
Oh, yes. So you get taken advantage of. So now I know any new assignment I'm going on to, before I accept keys, I'm walking the floor. Okay. Idea. So if the patient ratio is 1 to 25, I get there, I meet the nurse that I'm going to relieve. She automatically wants to count narcotics and give me keys. No, we're not doing that. Because as soon as I accept these keys, they're mine. No. Let's walk the floor. The floor. Good. I need to get eyes on every single patient that's mine to make sure they're still breathing and not on the floor because I have been left. with patients on the floor, covered in poop, not breathing. You will be surprised.
And then that is the courtesy thing I'm talking about too, because you really just gonna leave me with, I mean, I don't want to say it's your mess, but okay, at this point it's our mess. So can you just help me? Like, it's the start of my day and it's the end of yours. This is your last thing you got to do. Just help me out.
Exactly.
I don't be wanting to stay when it's me, but I stay anyway.
But thank you. I say anyways. It's common
courtesy. You do it anyway. It's because I always think, because I know how it feels. Honest, I'm very outspoken, so sometimes I just make them. I'd be like, "No, where are you going? Mm-hmm. I need you to pass this med that was due at 6 o'clock before you leave. Why is it still pending? What is going on?"
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. I'm telling you, and they get attitudes when you do that,
because you have to do that. It's going to set you behind for the rest of the day. You still have a whole 12 hours, 8 hours to go. Like, you gotta. No, can you just stay for 10 extra minutes? Help me clean them up real quick. It's gonna take me 2 minutes together versus the 10 by myself.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good idea. So y'all definitely take that into consideration. I was just asking about that because I hadn't had, and this is why I chose to do local traveling. Well, it's like local traveling, but the float pool is with the same hospital network. So the thing is, I kind of already know their standards. And they're like one of the better hospitals in Houston. Like, they have like the lowest nurse to patient ratio. So that's why I chose to do that, because I knew I wouldn't walk in on no BS essentially. Whereas if it's like local traveling, I'm going to any hospital and it's like, I don't know what I'm getting. At least I kind of have an idea. I know I ain't gonna get more than 6. 6 is like the absolute max. And a lot of the times they try to keep you to 4, to be honest. Yeah, a lot of times they try to keep you to 4 pre-COVID. Sometimes sometimes occasionally you still get 4. But I'm like, that's why I chose to do that, for that exact reason, because I'm like, if they could leave you with a mess, they will.
They will leave you with a mess, yes.
And then if something happened to that patient on your shift,
that's on you. That's on you. That's why you really have to be assertive.
Why didn't you speak up? It always falls back on us. It's never like, why were you left in this position? It's always like, why didn't you say something to, like, I'm like, can we change that mindset real quick? When you saying that reminded me of this court case I was reviewing before. I think her name was Christiane Gainey. But anyway, it was a court case talking about, she was a nurse at a nursing home. She had 20 something patients. One of them was neurochecks Q4, something like that. He had like a lot of falls and stuff like that. And he ended up dying on her shift because they weren't performing the Q4 hour checks like they were supposed to.
I think I heard
You heard about that?
Yes, I did.
And I remember like stuff like that and stuff like because I like court cases, now it's a thing. Well, that and I'm like, hold on, I need to know all the ways y'all trying to get these people so y'all don't get me.
So y'all don't get me. That's why when I walked into that situation, they told me I'm floating back from station 1 to station 2.
No, ma'am.
I said, y'all not about to get me. I'm not about to have all these patients on my dime, and you got 25 here and 25 there. That's 50 patients on me.
No.
I don't care if it is
noxious. They will do it. That's the crazy part. They will do anything you allow them to do. That's crazy. Whether it's legal, illegal, they don't care. Why did you accept the assignment? It always goes back to that.
Yep. Why did you accept it? And
so that's why I kind of like these court cases, because it lets me know, okay, well, she didn't got. Well, hold on. Not over here. We're not doing that. I need my income.
We're doing it. We're not doing it.
If I'm going to jail, I'm going to jail on my own accord.
On my own, right? On my own terms.
Not because of no foolery like this.
Yes.
So now that you're like in school, maybe you have an idea. What do you think, or what's your opinion about becoming an LVN prior to becoming an RN? Like, do you feel like there's some advantages because of that, or what?
I feel like there are some advantages, because I feel like LVN is like your stepping stone. Like, you kind of get your foot in the door and you get a little experience of everything. I kind of like that I did this honestly before going to RN, because I feel like going straight to RN, I just would have been even more clueless. Like, I would have just got my RN and then started working and been like, what? I don't know anything about the health field. I don't know nothing. But see, lucky for me, I've been in the health field for a really long time. Like, I started off as a CNA when I was 18. And then from CNA, I did home health. I was a home health aide. I kind of did both together. And then I was a phlebotomist.
So you have a wide range of experience.
Yeah. So then after phlebotomist, I did my LVN, and then I've been LVN, and then now I'm about to do RN. So it's just like, I'm not new to it, but for somebody that has no experience and just going straight to it, like if they want to kind of get their foot in the door, LVN would be like a good place to start, because you get a variety of different locations where you can work, a variety of different experience. You are working with RNs, so you can kind of piggyback and get information and knowledge off them. So it was definitely beneficial for me, for sure.
I feel like it would be the same thing, which is why I had told my brother about it, because I'm like for me, I was like how you said, I had no medical background, like nothing at all. I went from college right into the healthcare stuff. And it worked out okay because I had the personality that I have. So I learned a lot of key skills that I feel like is essential to being a nurse, like learning how to advocate for yourself and your patient.
Yes.
And, knowing how to be assertive, and then like time management. And I feel like I learned that pretty okay, but I just think about like other people who struggle with those sort of things. And I definitely think LVN would be like a better step, because you can learn those traits without necessarily having all the responsibilities just yet. And just so you can have an idea, honestly, just going from CNA too, because I didn't, like I said, I didn't do anything. I went straight jump. I went straight into it.
Diving.
Like a lot of my CNAs that I work with, they are actually in school now. So that, and then you can see what kind of nurse you want to become. You can see like, oh, I'm not going to be like that. Or you learn like a lot secondhand that you don't have to learn on your own, which at the time you're an RN, that's at your expense. A lot of the times if you make a lot of mistakes, you around. Luckily, ain't nothing happened to me. I be praying. I be like, look,
girl, no, for reals.
Give me through this shift. I don't want no problems. But now I'm at the point, I'm like, I've been around enough that I know what it is. But I'm like, in that first year nursing with no medical background, shoot, you could get yourself in a situation real quick without even knowing what it all entails. So that's kind of what I thought about it. So that's just nice to know. I can't change my life, but you know what? People who think like, I guess you just have to really be self-aware with your personality and stuff like that. And just anything really in general, like financial background, anything, like you could still be on your way to becoming an RN without fully diving in.
Exactly. Without fully diving in. And that was my thing too. Cause like when I first decided to become an LVN, I had just got married. No, I had been married for a little bit. I had been married for a little bit of time then. And then it was just like, okay, well, like I'm married, like, and this becoming an LVN was like a really good income. So I was like, oh, okay, like I can do this and be working and getting experience as an LVN, making good income, and then still continue on with school to be an RN.
That's exactly what I told my brother. I was like, this is exactly the reasons. I'm like, you still could be making good money, because a lot of people in nursing school, they work. It's not, I say like a good portion of them was working. Either they were CNAs or they were LVNs. It was a few little people who were like, my moms or parents are paying for everything, which is fine too. If they're going to pay for it, let them pay for it.
Let them, for real.
Let them pay for it. We had a couple of those, and then everybody else might have had like little menial jobs or whatever. But I'm like, if you go work, why not work in the field that you're about to become? You know what I'm saying? So you can actually get experience some type of way. Even just looking at certain situations is helpful.
Yeah.
Like your first code blue, not being a nurse, that would be helpful.
No, yes, for real. My CNAs be on point. I'm telling, like when I first
I'm like them CNAs, they be doing the doggone things. So let's talk about how some of them are better than nurses. That's why I'm like, it's not a bad place.
No, when I first became an LVN, I had to put a patient on oxygen, the O2 tank. And I was like, I don't know how to work this O2 tank. Girl, that CNA was like, oh, this is how you do it. I was like,
for real.
Well, thank you, sis. Like,
no, really, thank you. No, I was like, I be telling, I don't have no clue. What was this? What is this? Where is this at? CNAs are your best friend.
So CNAs be coming through.
So you learn like a little, because they don't have time to teach you everything in nursing school or in orientation when you become a nurse. So all those little, like, oh, this device is for this, and like, oh, we have this on the unit. You didn't know about that? Like, I be learning that from the CNAs. I'd be like, girl, we got that machine. What that one do?
No, because they be so smart. And a lot of the time they've been there for years, and like they just know the ins and outs.
Exactly. Like, they know like a lot of stuff that assists. So like having that knowledge from that before coming in RN is very helpful. Like I said, even with cold blue situations because they are like patients having low blood sugar or they're symptomatic, because a lot of times they might catch it before we do. And then they the one coming to tell us, hey, your patient blood sugar 40 or your whatever, you might want to check on them. And it's like, okay, let me go look. But being a brand new RN and looking, like, I'm like, that's scary.
Yes. Scary. I can imagine. Scary. I'm like, being that brand new LVN, scary. I was like, oh Lord, what?
You all right? Don't die. Hold on, don't die.
No, for real, don't die. Don't die, because I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Right. Let me go for help. Like, right. Okay. Please don't die yet. Like, so I mean, looking back on what I know could have happened, I don't know. Being a nurse kind of is funny. It's kind of like being a child, because I feel like now that I'm older, I'm like, you know how many ways I could have died when I was little from reckless stuff I was doing. It's the same thing like with nursing. It's like, you know how many ways stuff could have went wrong and I wouldn't have known what to do or how to react. So having like that knowledge with doing CNA or anything before becoming RN is like very helpful.
Yes. It's definitely gonna be like,
we didn't make it.
Oh my God. I feel like once I am done and it's crazy too, because like what the field I want to go into for RN, I want to go into mental health, but like I want to find a job now as an LVN where I'm working in mental health. But because I don't have any mental health experience yet, so
you'll already have that one foot in the door.
Yeah, it's been hard to find something in mental health. And then as an LVN, I need to do a little research because I'm not sure what LVNs do that work in mental health. Like I know there are some LVNs that work in.
I've seen because I was just on the psych unit the other day. All the ones
I saw that.
Yeah, I was just like, hold on, how y'all just float me here? See, that goes back to that. I was like, y'all told me this was gonna be a rare assignment, and here I am. Rare.
Oh my God.
I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but techs really be running the psych units in the hospitals at least, and I think they do other places too. They do all the stuff with the patients, and we just pass the meds. Literally, and assess. I guess the initial assessment is the most important, but then after that, it's just kind of like you just following up. Like, are you hearing any voices? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Okay. And then PT and OT and social work do a lot with them psych patients. I'm like, I didn't even know y'all learned how to do all this stuff.
Wow. See, I didn't know that either.
I was surprised, but I knew that before because when I was in mental health clinicals, when I was a student, I did a clinical at an actual institution. And it was big. It had like kids, adults. Then they had adults. They were like really on lockdown. Ooh. So I did a couple with the kids, and the kids scared because I'm like, you tried to kill your mama, but all right, Annabelle, like
Annabelle,
like all right. The adults, I'm like, okay, I can see how you had some trauma in your life. I see how you got to this point. Somebody drove you crazy. I'm like, I get it, but. Regardless, the techs did a lot of the stuff like actually working with the patients, and the RN was behind the desk on the computer, and then they'll come out. You want your Xanax? They're like, okay. It's a whole nother world.
And
I guess LVNs will do meds.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But see, it's crazy because you just mentioned Xanax, and I be thinking like, when psych patients are discharged from the ER and then they come to where I go on the weekends, like a skilled nursing facility to get rehab, why aren't there facilities like specifically for psych patients that need rehabilitation? Because now you have the psych.
They definitely need it.
Yeah, because now you have the psych patients, like severely psych patients, with people that don't have any psych issues, or the elderly people, and don't let this psych patient be an ambulatory one. That's, and it's just like you're mixing too many.
It should be like a criteria. So there's not so they come to the skilled nursing facility and it's just all of them all together, but they have to be admitted to that facility. Because I know for sure, like when even I've had taken care of psych patients, even on the regular floor, because they were there for medical issues. But it's like different facilities, at least over here, where you have to meet this certain criteria to be accepted. Because I had one patient that was on 4-point restraints, and he couldn't be transferred nowhere because that facility wouldn't take him, which would make sense because that would be your case. So they just got all yours in together. They like, y'all can come over here.
Yep, that's basically. I feel like they accept anyone. I've had patients just like
so my
that.
4-point restraint patient would have come to you.
No, yes, your 4-point would have came to me and would have thrown the plate at me like I've gotten thrown at me. Would have hit me. Would have done whatever. It's crazy.
So literally don't know what you walking into because you don't know if they psych. You like what's wrong with you?
You don't know. You don't know.
And that's one of the 25 that is so easy to pass meds to.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
The ones that spit the medications out.
I just think that the healthcare is just in shambles, period. I'm like, can we just throw everything y'all had in place away and then let's just start brand new? Because y'all didn't do this right.
Yes, start brand new and talk to the nurses.
That's we be the main. I'm like, just let us do it, or let us tell y'all what y'all need. We need to be on somebody's board, or we need to be doing something. Because I'm like, the way that y'all put this together is not efficient at all.
It's not efficient at all. They got too many things mixed in, and just the ratio. Really work on the ratios with the LVNs. Like that's 1 to 25.
No one should be having that many patients. That's just too many people to keep up with. Period.
And then the RN, she doesn't get a break either, because say if I'm at a facility that has 50 patients, which is considered a small skilled nursing facility, 50 patients, that's considered small. I have 25 to myself. The other LVN has 25 to herself. The one RN has 50.
See? I don't like any of that.
And she's hanging IVs, and she's doing the admissions. She's doing the assessment. She's doing the discharging. This
is why I work in the hospital.
And if she has a good LVN.
Because I'm like, ain't no way in hell. That should never be the case.
Yeah.
That should never be a thing. I don't care.
And if she has a good LVN that can help her, then like, great. Like, because the RNs will like teach the LVNs like, okay, this is how you do, this is how you put the admissions in. This is how you do the discharge. And because they be so overwhelmed. So literally like they'll want to cross train you so that you can do all this. And then with me, I'd be like, okay, so what's the extra? Like, I need help too. I don't mind cross training and I don't mind doing this, but like, I'm going to get benefits from this.
No, that part too, because then they'll try to train you.
They take advantage of you.
I've compensated to do this, and then if something happens, that's on that. Who's on? You know what I mean?
Exactly. They tried
to cross train us to do ICU at one point, and I was asking them because I wasn't about to go down there and do that. I'm like, I work IMU. I know what drips I can hang and what I can monitor. I'm not taking care of no patient on no level fed or nothing. They're like, oh, but you're gonna have a buddy. Girls, don't even lie to me. I know how this work in real life. When I call my buddy, if this patient BP is going low, where they gonna be at? In somebody else's room trying to save a life because it's ICU.
It's ICU.
And then if that patient die, who is gonna follow on? Me because I'm an RN. Nope. I'd be like, yeah. Then when I asked her about it, she tried to be sneak and be like, oh, well, yeah, because she's a nurse too, educating us. I'm like, girl, you know this ain't right. Luckily, you never came to that. But I was like, I will raise hell in this hospital if I got to. Just let me know.
Yes. And just like you said we have to be our own advocate. We have to be assertive because
you have no choice.
Put in some situations.
At the end of the day, it's your license, your livelihood. You don't, you got a life outside of this. How you gonna be able to take care of everything else if you fired? Then if you fire for them sorts of things, most likely your license is in question. Then what? You gonna go back to school? You gotta find a job at Walmart or something like that. Like that's just too much. It's too much stress. I'm not doing that. So let's just avoid the situation altogether.
Let's avoid it altogether. That's a word. What is this?
So I just want to say I drank my whole glass of wine already.
How you feeling?
I like it.
Good.
I'm here for it. I'm like, I think this one is, I'm going to get again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to drink anymore for now because I'm going to drink a little bit more later today.
Right? Tonight. Mm-hmm. Me too. After I get these kids, I'm going to be like, okay, bedtime, mommy time.
Right, literally. But I like this. I'm gonna have to get that again. And then for it to be a sparkling one, I'm really surprised about the alcohol content. But it tastes like it tastes good.
And it's not super expensive.
Oh yeah, that part. We didn't even talk about that. It was only $12.99 where I got it from.
Hey, yep. And at Costco, it's even cheaper. At
Oh,
Costco,
for
it's
real?
like $9.
Okay. I'm not mad at it.
Listen here.
I'm not mad at it.
Yes.
I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that again. Well, after I drink this bottle.
Look at me promoting. Where's some tweet? I'm promoting y'all.
Do you feel like, I don't know, you have anything left you think that you could impart about being an LVN, or did we kind of cover all the bases?
I think we covered all the bases. I just think like I would just want to leave with anybody that is coming on to be like a new LVN, because they don't tell you this and I have to learn for myself. Like I really, really want to stress, do not accept assignments that you're not comfortable with. Do not accept keys until you have walked the floor and placed eyes on that patient, because like you said, like it's your license and it's your livelihood, and doing the wrong thing could really put you in a bad situation. So like that's just for LVNs out here. And don't be too trusting when you're the new nurse. Like use your good judgment. That little like conscience, that gut feeling, or that don't seem too right, like pay attention to that, because that'll save you like a lot.
No, for real. Yeah, I just want to piggyback off what you said. I have been preaching lately, I feel like, about advocating for yourself, your patient, even if you think it's dumb. I think half the time my patients are like, I'm like, you exaggerating, you being dramatic. But on that off chance that they're not exaggerating or being dramatic and it's actually real, you don't want that on your conscience, for one, that you could have done something and then you didn't do something to help somebody because it was getting on your nerves.
Exactly.
And then two, you don't want something bad. I mean, you don't want something bad to happen to somebody in general. So there's just that. And then the next thing is that can affect, like we said, your license and everything else. So it's just like, I don't know. I think we are always in a rush sometimes to get everything done, but sometimes you also have to take a step back and just think like, is this a good situation to be in? Or like, did I do everything that I could have done? You know, you don't want that on you when you leave for the rest of the day, because especially after you leave, you're probably not going to remember what took place in the shift a week from now, a month from now. And then these cases come back. If y'all know, like I said, I've been looking at court cases. They come back 3 years, 4 years later. Baby, I don't know what I was doing 3 years from now on some random day that I just went to work. So at least by you following up with everything, whether you think it's dumb or not, and then you chart it that you did. So y'all don't forget to chart.
Don't forget to chart.
But I'm like, then you could, you know, like, oh, okay, I did call this doctor. I did try to do this. I did tell them that this patient was feeling this way. And then, I mean, no interventions. Okay, like at that point, that has nothing to do with me. But you just don't want that on you. And I feel like sometimes we kind of get run down from, you know, the motion of things, that we don't cover all of our bases. But I always just feel like the one day you don't cover your bases, the day something gonna happen.
Something gonna happen.
You gotta take your time to do that. So I feel like I feel that, because that's how I tell myself that sometimes. I'd be like, ain't nothing wrong with this 20-year-old some lungs. And I'd be like, girl, you better assess them lungs.
Girl, you better auscultate. You better auscultate.
I'm like, you better auscultate. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Because I'm like, that one day you don't know. You never know. It's better to be safe than sorry. Like literally, better to be preventative than to be reactive. Or like my mom said, it's better to be proactive than reactive. So I'll be hearing my mom's voice in my head. And I'm like, that's true. Once they already coding in front of you, you like, hell, I hope I get them back. But shoot, you know, sometimes there's some things we could caught a little bit before to might have prevent that situation. If you did everything you could, then I mean, at that point, I tried. You know, it still sucks too. It still makes you feel bad, but you know that you've done everything you could have done. I just be like, these nurses out here, I feel like we tired.
We are.
I'm like, I feel like we tired, but we can't be tired at the expense of ourselves.
We cannot.
Because I'm like, at the end of the day, like it's not affecting anybody else but us. So we have to carry through, at least on that portion of things.
And I think because we're nurses, we're so used to advocating for our patients that we forget to advocate for ourselves and take that time for myself. Because I know when I first became a nurse, like I'm trying to manage time management and trying to get that. So then I'm not taking breaks. I'm not taking lunch. Yeah. And it's just wearing down on me until after like realizing like, no, I'm hurting myself. Exactly. And if I'm hurting myself and I'm not coming here, then there's a possibility that I'm not going to be able to care for my patient to the best of my ability because of how I'm feeling. So girl, take those breaks, take those lunches, take that time off, do whatever you got to do to make sure you're good because nobody else is going to take care of you.
And that's facts. That's preaching.
Girl, amen.
Because I'm like, I think it's just I feel like a lot of nurses have similar personalities because that's why we chose this profession. So I feel like a lot of the times, like, you know, we're just giving. And you got to think like, hold on, wait, who pouring into me? Like, hold on.
Who's giving to me? Where's my cup empty?
Right.
It's been dry.
Well, hold on. But then it's just like at the same time, it's just like, I'm the only one that has to live this life. Mm-hmm. So you need to be happy with what you're doing. And that's a quick way to get burnt out on something that you love to do.
Love to do. Yep. Yeah, because I would suck. Because I love nursing and I don't want it to burn me out.
Mm-hmm. Them breaks are essential. That helped me out too, because I was feeling at the point of burnout some times ago. But yeah, them breaks. You come back feeling like, oh, wait, I really do love this job, huh?
You do. And girl, when I take my breaks, I leave. I go to my car. Like I need to leave this area. I need to just go in my car. I don't care if I gotta
you have to do that. You know, turn off the phone, the work phone, turn everything off. It's my break. Y'all have to figure it out while I'm gone. I'm not on the clock.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Some people don't. I still see people answering the phone or this or that. You don't have to tell that to the charge nurse, I'm on break. Yep. Then you'll tell people they're on break and they still don't respect your break. You be like, oh, I'm on break. Don't even answer the phone.
Oh, I'm on break. Oh, okay. Well, patient in the room. What?
I'm sorry.
I'm on break.
I'm on break and you're trying to tell me a critical lab value that has to be reported to the doctor in a certain amount of time. That's not a break. Don't answer your phone.
To your phones.
Got both my headphones in. I can't hear nothing. But like Jasmine said, sometimes you do have to leave because they'll come find you in the break room. Yes. So I've seen people go to different units to have a break or go downstairs to the cafeteria or anything else. You got to know who you around. Sometimes you can stay in the break room and you know they ain't gonna come get you. But I've seen a couple of times where charge nurse come in there looking for the nurse. They on break. You figure it out. You charge nurse.
You the charge nurse, figure it out.
You do it. Oh, they're on break. Let them how they break. So I think we gotta respect each other too at the same time. Like with that.
We do. That's facts. That's facts.
Well, it was so fun having this talk to you, and I love my wine.
That's good. No, I enjoyed this too. I'm like,
thank you for taking time out your busy day to come sip with us. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed this video.
Yes, this won't be my last time.
Personally, so hopefully, y'all learned a lot.
I said, hopefully, this won't be my last time.
No, we'll figure out something else to talk about, and then we'll have it all together. We'll know the time zones this time.
No, oh my God, yes. 2 hour difference. 2 hour difference. 2 hours.
Right, that part.